This is part 2 of all your questions answered. Melissa 212 asks, is it okay to put vitamin C over recovery during the day? So she is talking about vitamin C and recovery, product by NeoGenesis. It's called Recovery. Can you see that? Anyway, it is 70% active ingredients of human stem cell releasing molecules. So this is sort of their strongest product in their entire line, and if you want some serious anti-aging power added to any routine, it would be this. This is what I get most of my clients on immediately, just to start getting some regeneration in their skin. Now, she's asking if she can put vitamin C over this. Yes, absolutely. This is the kind of thing you want to put on clean, slightly damp skin, and you would lean back and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drops. You could do 4, and then you want to slather it. I even get the back of my neck, earlobes, I get everything. And this will disappear into the skin within about 60 seconds. It's just gone. So your next step would be the next thinnest item in your roundup. So if you have another couple serums, the lightest of the serums would go next, and after that, and after that, and after that. The very last thing is sunscreen, unless it's at night. Soha Gill asks, what about hyperpigmentation or melasma? What would you recommend? Well, hyperpigmentation and melasma are two different things. Well, melasma is a type of hyperpigmentation that is so hard to, you can't ever really completely fix it. You really need to be on melanin inhibitors, vitamin C's and niacinamide, and oh God, there's so many. Berberry extract, kojic acid, on and on, lactic acid. It's usually a combination of antioxidants, things that soothe the skin, as well as things that suppress melanin formation, and sunscreen. I mean, I have clients that their pigmentation will peak out when they're hot, when they're stressed, if it's melasma, right? If it's just your garden variety, I'm 20 and I went out in the sun, very epidermal hyperpigmentation, that's easy. That's a quick lactic peel. That's some retinol. That's really easy. That's exfoliation. That's fruit acids. But if you have melasma, it's usually a balancing act of calming the skin, nourishing the skin. It's keeping the skin protected, and also keeping it exfoliated so those active ingredients can get down to that dermal epidermal junction and do their work where the melanin is formed. So there's lots more to this. I just wanted to sort of talk about it in a nutshell, but things you could look at are retinol, niacinamide, like I just said, fruit acids is really good for that, vitamin C, berberry extract. Make sure you're exfoliating and really try to work with acids that don't disturb your skin too much. If you're flaking and having irritation, that can spark more melasma. So really have to find that balance. But there is hope, and persistence pays off. So start there. What is your holy grail for hands and body? Recommendations for brown spots and crepey skin. I love NeoGenesis body cream. Their body cream is such a fantastic cream. It's thick and beautiful and really starts to work on dark spots. Sometimes we'll get dark spots on the body that really need to be sort of lasered off or burnt off in some way. If they've been there for 10 or 20 years, it's going to take more than a product usually to get those to come off. Crepey skin, also the NeoGenesis body cream, because it's got 10% of the stem cell releasing molecules and really is a high quality cream for the body. So I would start there. There are lots of body products coming onto the market and on the market, but I would definitely, if you're doing anything that has fruit acids or exfoliation in it, I would definitely make sure you're also using sunscreen on the affected area, because it would be like dieting all day and then eating Oreo cookies at night. It would not work very well if you're exfoliating and not using sunscreen and working on body skin, because it just gets sun all the time, in the car, anytime we go out. Well, Boys for America from Insta asks, how about something good for good old gooseneck? Gosh, I think my whole channel is almost essentially dedicated to gooseneck or neck issues. I think I would go definitely NeoGenesis products, really get some super anti-aging products on the skin that the skin can recognize. You know, the stem cell releasing molecules from adult human stem cells is a great place to start. I would introduce, it just depends. There's so many different types of necks. Gooseneck, I guess you're talking about wattle, right? So I would make sure that you're getting, I talk about lymph drainage because 90% of the lymph nodes in the head and neck are located right here. So sometimes people have a lot of fullness here that adds to the wattle. If you wanted to do something at home, you could try radio frequency, but it's generally going to get a little bit, it will do a little bit. You're usually looking at some sort of heat-based treatment like fibroblast or laser, sometimes even a platysmoplasty where they go in and they cut this, because this muscle is just a sheath of muscle. It's like a sheet of paper. I mean, it's thicker than that, but it's a sheath, right? It's divided in the middle and it attaches right here and it inserts right here. So as we lose volume in our face and neck, we get, this starts to hang. So they'll go in a lot of times and just cut and tie this together, and it's called a platysmoplasty. Sometimes it's just a very simple routine, but you need to go to somebody who is amazing at neck lifts, because it is a neck lift. John 99010 asks, is Cavi a standalone product, or can I use it with my current skincare regimen? Yeah, you can use it alone, you can use it with other products, but the thing with Cavi is that it must still bubble. So it needs to be applied at a point in your routine that nothing too light goes after it, so that, because it's such a nourishing product. So this Cavi, so you need to make sure nothing's going after it that is gonna not be able to get through. I'll just give this a second till it starts to bubble up. So this has oxygenators and different propellers that like to push that polylactic acid into the skin. I might have just put too much on here. And I noticed that if I layer anything oily underneath it, it doesn't start to bubble like this. If it's not bubbling, it's not penetrating. So you definitely want, because you can actually put this on and then it too thin and it's not, you really won't even see the bubbles. So you want to make sure you're doing 4 pumps, boom, 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 and you just shellac it on your face. So if it's not bubbling like this, it's not getting in. So you want to make sure that you put it at a point in your routine only after serums that allow it to still bubble. So if the serum is too oily, it's not going to do this, and then you'll know it's not penetrating. So yes, it can be used standalone. It's awesome all by itself, or you can layer it into your routine at whatever point it still bubbles. Hope that makes sense. Okay, Jasmine asks, does the Ultrasound Time Master build muscle tissue? You know, it can, because it has electric muscle stimulation in it. Not by design, it's just that the ultrasound in it, when you use it, it's so penetrating that it will trigger the muscle to contract. What happens is, how they can create ultrasound is they send ultrasound through like a quartz or some very high vibrational rock. They will send energy, they send electricity through this rock, and that creates the sound waves, right? The vibrations. What happens next is, because it's 90K per second, and that's pretty low on the ultrasound range, it is very penetrating. And so it's not going to go just like that 1 little millimeter, like the much higher frequency devices you see on Amazon and eBay and all that. It's on the lower end, right? And so it penetrates deeply. And what happens is it will trigger those nerves and the muscle will contract, right? And anytime the muscle's contracting, you can build muscle tissue. So there are people who use that on its own. Now, I think that microcurrent builds muscle tissue in a more elegant way, but it's also a very detoxifying machine because of the muscles clenching like that. It's going to be very detoxifying and do a nice flush. But yes, I have seen, well, you know, you think about passive electric exercise, that you can build muscle tissue, like the Russian electrostim devices. That's EMS, and you can definitely build muscle tissue that way. I mean, is it as good as building muscles by lifting weights? No, but it will build some muscle tissue. And I have seen that in myself. It tends to be, it fades fast though. I feel like it fades fast. But yeah, it can. It absolutely can. V asks, can you suggest something for hormonal acne at 52? I'm also a nurse and I have to wear a mask for hours. That is where my acne is located, and it's gotten worse since the mask wearing. That's tough. That is tough. I mean, Maskne is really tough, and I imagine you're wearing an N95 or some really heavy duty mask because you're in a medical setting. So it's tough. The first thing I would recommend is something that's very balancing, like NeoGenesis Recovery, exfoliation, gentle exfoliation. There's some other things I don't really know about what's going on with you. A lot of times I'll have people get on just regular zinc, because zinc has a way of making oils that our skin produce thinner, right? So our facial oils aren't quite as thick and viscous, and the bacteria doesn't have as much to munch on. And so it is particularly helpful with the cystic acne. And so there's ionic zinc that I actually just put in my coffee in the morning. Coffee's probably keeping it from absorbing as much, but some people have a hard time with their stomach on it. So, but it's available in pill form, but I feel like the body picks it up easier as an ionic mineral, as a liquid mineral. So those are available at Fresh Time if you have it. I'm not sure if Whole Foods carries liquid zinc anymore. Also available online, many different types. So I would start there. Okay, so that's it as far as the questions that were submitted on Instagram. Talk to you soon. Bye now.